Appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you.
Matt says
1976.
recording in progress too. I don't
Perfect.
know
I
how I
appreciate
did
it.
it.
Perfect. That'll help me. I need this for later because as a matter of public record, 1976 was the bicentennial. The United States of America was turning 200 years old, and I got dressed up as Thomas Jefferson to deliver the preamble because I could say unalienable, and my mama is an excellent speaking coach. But if you look at what happened on July 4th, 1976, there were a group of people that got together and signed their names on the dotted line to make America free, but most of us weren't included in that category. We just celebrated Juneteenth as the day that the last slaves knew they were free. Here's the loop that I want to bring together when it comes to finance, financial freedom, and freedom of any kind. Let me come and look at you in your eyeballs when I say this. Life is a fight for territory. And when you stop fighting for what you don't want takes over automatically.
Facts.
Life is a fight for territory. And when you stop fighting for what you don't want takes over automatically. And the things that happened before July 4th, 1976 are a good analogy for the things that had to happen for us to come together. A group of people prior to the signing of the Declaration of Independence, where were they? They were in a place where they lacked the freedom that they wanted. They had a financial system that put them in a place where a lot of their money was going away to someone that did not serve them and did not see them. They all got together and said, we mad as hell, we're not going to live like this anymore. They signed the Declaration. That wasn't the day that America became America. That was the day the war started. Because that's how every fight happens. If you think about it, April 19th, 1775, they consider that the beginning of the Revolutionary War. What was happening then? They were mad as hell. They were having the Boston Tea Party. They were saying rather than send the tea over to England and be taxed for the right to do the work to grow it, we're just going to dump it in the bay. And then they fought from April 19th to September of 1783. Same thing, any fight for freedom, the Emancipation Proclamation signed in April 1861, the Civil War went on for another 4 years, and the last slaves didn't find out they were free until Juneteenth. That's in 67. But what's the process? That's the thing that I started looking at, Mom, is that for any freedom fighting process, if you're fighting for your financial freedom, if you're fighting for your spiritual freedom, the first thing is a declaration that I'm not willing to live like this anymore. Then the second thing, if you're going to really go out and wage war, you're going to go out and build and arm an army. And then you fight until you win. And when you win, get to change the world. And so with what we do in any war, it's just identify. Once you've identified the army, it's identifying the enemy. And when it comes to our financial freedom, there are 4 financial foes that fight us tooth and nail every day. And if we are not diligent and vigilant, we lose to the opposing forces. What are those? Well, it's ironic. Taxes and inflation. And I think taxes is what, if you really think about the Declaration of Independence, what they were fighting for was taxes and tax structure. They wanted to set up a tax structure where at least they had a chance to win. So you got to understand that prior to capitalism, there was no mechanism where an individual could rise above the station they were born. You were born a lord or you were born a serf. Am I making sense? You were either royalty or you were going to work for royalty no matter how smart you were, no matter how hard you were. But taxes is still our number one foe when it comes to financial freedom. It still takes the first third of our income. And because inflation, the silent income killer, has our income going down, taxes, inflation makes our dollars worth less, and taxes takes the first third of the dollars. You put that in combination with the debt that people incur because they have less money, and the money they have is worth less. Now they're paying later. They're paying later for something that they couldn't afford to buy right now. And then let's net it out. Big business still puts itself in a place where, by the default setting, is big business wins. Meaning most people in the education system that we're trained in go out and look for a job in big business so that they can make enough money to purchase the things that they make in big business. And then big business gives them a break from working at least once a month, including today, the 4th of July, where they can't put money in the bank, but they can spend money from the bank.
That's good.
Because we talk about the 4th of July right now, but next month is going to be August. We're going back to school. And then in September, there's going to be Labor Day. Then in October, we'll have Halloween. November, there'll be Thanksgiving. December, there's Christmas. January, New Year's. February, Valentine's Day. You get to March, you got spring break. April, there's Easter. May, there's Mother's Day. June, there's Father's Day and Juneteenth. And then you're back around to the 4th of July. It's a year and a cycle to make sure that whatever money's left gets squeezed out. That's what we're fighting against. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Here's the blessing in what we've been armed with. The latter in a capitalist economy, which is what the United States is. I'm not one of those people that bash the United States of America saying, I want to go somewhere else. There's not anybody writing songs saying they're coming to Poland. They're going to Ukraine. They're coming to Mexico. No, they're coming to America because at least we have the chance, if we know among our inalienable rights, the best weapon we have in this fight is understanding, is the knowledge that if the tax structure is set up so that there is an exit path, we got to understand how to get out of the rabbit trap. Here's the rabbit trap. W-2 is designed to make people work forever and die. That's just what it is. Wow. Because the way the W-2 tax structure works, I work, I'm taxed, and I get to spend what's left. 28 to 33% income off the rip. That's how the taxes are set up. With a business, though, a business gets subject to the 1099 tax code. What does that do? It allows the business to have the advantage of its money for a longer period of time with which to do work. Meaning a business gets taxed 18 to 23%, so it's a lower percentage, but you know what's more powerful? The business gets to earn money first. The business gets to spend money second, and the business gets taxed on what's left. How much taxes would you pay if you got to earn money first, pay all of your bills next, and get taxed on what's left? But now here's where the wealth equation becomes the most powerful, is in the area of capital gains taxes. Money is now and always has been the lowest tax source of income in America, meaning long-term capital gains percentage taxes are usually less than 15%. Here's the powerful part of the formula. Money works. Money can get reinvested so that the money goes to work again with the new money that the money made, so that the money makes more money.
Money, baby.
Money.
I mean, y'all got to understand, that's a secret to financial freedom. There is a ladder that we have to be intentional about climbing, where we learn what my brother teaches all the time, that money is a tool. And our goal in the financial freedom fight is to consciously, consistently, crazily build and produce income producing assets. See, this is America. There will never be a time where you don't need income. But for everyone, there will come a time where we no longer want or are able to work for income. And we have to have put enough other assets in place so that we can sit our, oh, my mom's on the phone, butts.
I close
Facts.
my ears.
So we can sit down. And the tax structure benefits that. Now, what most people don't know, William, is that you don't have to be a big business to be a business. The solution to the challenge that most people are facing is a part of where they already are in their lives, meaning the actual solution, the way that we, as individuals that are in the fight for financial freedom, can leverage our way out of our current situation is through a home-based business. Because among those inalienable rights, you put your home or apartment and social security number together, and you actually have a solution to all four roadblocks if you strategically invest in home-based business and income producing assets. Why is that, Rick? Well, first, you get the tax advantages of being a business owner. Not only do businesses get taxed less, they get to write off more things. And for someone that's working, put this in your notes. A home-based business is probably the best asset you can add to your portfolio, meaning you can be an employee and still own a home-based business. For most people, that gives them a pay raise at work, but also gives them deductions that I wouldn't have. Meaning, if you have a business and I don't, you have 475 deductions available to you according to the IRS, and I have 9. Which do you prefer, your 475 or my 9?
At 475.
The next thing you
Absolutely.
need to do is to hire your children. William, I did not know this when all 3 of my children were running around the house. So I didn't have the opportunity to demonstrate payroll as a value versus allowance, but more importantly, to demonstrate entrepreneurship and how building the family legacy that they're going to inherit becomes a part of breaking that generational curse, because now we're in a position to give that next generation a head start. Instead of them having to start from little or nothing, or even worse, in debt entrenched in student loans, we start them with a business and investment mindset where they're looking to build businesses, where the models they've seen have been people building businesses, using those businesses to fund investments and using those investments to fund businesses, so that they're caught up in the reverse generational cycle where the money's at work doing its job. And because of the way that our particular movement is structured, you have unlimited income and you can do this anywhere. Like, I happen to have rushed back to my house to do this particular presentation from here, but you get the time freedom once we unbuy the greatest lie we were ever sold. What's the greatest lie you were ever sold, Richard? Time
Go to
is
school.
Time is money.
Time is money is the greatest lie we were ever sold and the most expensive cost of our lives. Meaning,
Wow.
when you think of time as money, time is not time. Time is time, money is money, and time is more valuable than money. But if you buy the lie that time is money, you'll spend a lot of your time for a little bit of someone else's money. If we put that in perspective and give ourselves the ability to earn and own and operate our businesses away from the people and things that cost us our time, we can become more financially fit and therefore more financially free. Now, that's my time. I said I was only going to take 30 minutes today, but I do want to leave you with the wealth equation and some things to take this conversation to the next level. If you're looking at this Zoom, get with the person that invited you to this Zoom and say, "No, Rick, I'm mad as hell too. I'm not gonna take it anymore. I am making my declaration of financial freedom. How can I continue the learning so that we can start the earning? Here's the equation. I don't have a slide for it, so you're going to have to write this out longhand. Is mindset times skill set times tool set equals assets. If we're going to create financial freedom, lasting financial freedom in this generation, we got to elevate our mindset and identity to the type of people that are in a fight for financial freedom and generating wealth. Like if I taught you every skill for investing and articulating and presenting business, but didn't give you the mindset of a person that does those things, well, 0 times 1,000,000 is still 0.
Big facts.
Mindset first, skill set second, tool set third. The beautiful thing about our movement is we have all three, and we want to get you access to the information. But before I leave, I'll share with you some of the intellectual assets that help me develop my mindset on an ongoing basis. They say that a person that doesn't read is no better off than a person who cannot read. If you want to continue learning money mastery, here are some of the mentors that have helped me increase my understanding of the wealth creation process. I love Dave Ramsey and the Total Money Makeover, especially when it comes to getting your financial house in order in the first place. The Richest Man in Babylon is an easy read. There are almost no numbers in this book, but it's made me millions in terms of mindset about money. My additional practical mentor, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, author Robert Kiyosaki, and then the Millionaire Mind by, as a matter of fact, Secrets of the Millionaire Mind by T. Harv Eker, even better. But whatever you do, make sure that you invest in your mind, yourself, and your daily development on a daily basis, because it has infinite returns. We're in a fight of our lives. It's the fight for financial freedom. I thank all of you for joining me at this virtual cookout. Take this mindset out into the world with you. Attract the army that wants to build a lifestyle that they deserve right now and leave a legacy. Know it's going to take all of us, but together, each and every one of us achieves more. That's why we are the Power Builders team. Together, everyone achieves more. Let's do it together.
Yes.
That's my time. I'm done.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Mr. Richard Harden,
Thank
for
you.
breaking down
Thank you.
listen, he was barbecuing the ribs. He was marinating the chicken. I mean, he really had a Boston Tea Party here today. So guys, listen, I'm super excited about this. And as Mr. Richard Harden said, as you leave out from here, make sure that you get your mindset tool sets right, so that you can be set.
Hey, Mr. Harden, it was fantastic to be here on this call. And I just want to ask you, that